Hey, I'm here at the first meeting of Level X. What I realized is, and don't take this the wrong way, but in my field, I'm the best. Okay, I don't cook good pizza, I don't make websites, but when it comes to pitch and narratives, I'm the best, right? And so people come to me from all over the world and I create their narratives when they have to go pitch something, right? If they need money, if they need resources, that's me. And so I have a very restricted openness to taking advice. Everybody wants to give me advice, but I'm already operating at a level that is level X. I guess my tagline is, you might win some, but you just lost one. Like when people come up against my pitch, my pitch will win. And so it's very difficult for me to collaborate with people because I'm already running at such a high level. And so started looking for peers, and it's difficult. So I came up with this terminology, and I said, if I'm working at level X, which is, there's level 5, there's level 7, level 10, whatever level you're at, level X is a couple levels higher. So if I'm working at that level, who else is at that level? So what if you got the best people in the world together from different fields? That's what level X is, and we're gonna find out exactly how much impact that kind of group can have. For me, what's happening, at least in my industry, is there's 23, 24-year-olds who have been selling or coaching or pitching for a year, or 30-year-olds, and there's so much aggression on selling and so little on delivery. There's actually, the coaching says, don't worry about delivery. Get a 50% refund rate. Just sell. And I've set myself up the exact opposite. We don't sell very hard at all, and we focus on delivery. And so it seems like really commitment to delivery is out of phase with today's world, which is just sell, take the refund rate. And if you've been doing something for a year or a month or a day, you're good enough to coach people.
Yeah, I mean, so I kind of go back to the whole social media world. Like, we live in this world where everything is in these like little 60-second clips, so all people care about is what they look like in that 60-second window. They don't care about the long-term effect. Like so for you, you're not trying to make somebody a little bit of money right now, you're trying to help them long-term. Same thing for me, as a coach, I could make somebody really fit in a month, but they're probably going to be hurt, and they're probably going to be burnt out, and they're probably going to hate me at the end of it.
Yeah.
Right? I want them to be fit and healthy long term. I want them to be 80 years old and still be out living an active and healthy lifestyle. And that's kind of the big difference right now, is nobody seems to care about any of that because it doesn't look cool on Instagram. Like when I come in here and I'm coaching people and I'm like, cool, let's add 5 pounds to the bar from what we did last week. That doesn't look half as cool as the dude that's putting on 10 extra pounds, 20 extra pounds, 30 extra pounds every set, and at the end of it, he's got a whole bunch of weight on the bar and it looks great on camera, but everybody forgets about what's happening to that dude in the next 30 days. He's beat down.
Well, one way I think about this is, I have people come into my system and they need a pitch, right? The way they're describing their business, the way they're behaving, the way they're acting, the way they're putting themselves out is not compelling. It's just not good enough. It's below what I would just call, not the Oren standard, but it's below the competitive standard. If I really put my full powers on them, I will make them cry, right? Externally, for real, and internally. People just want the pitch, right? But they really have to be built up systematically to be stable. So when people really want to make a change, I go, we can't work on the pitch right now. We have to go deep and figure out what's going on with you. We got to build you up we got to build up your strength. And they'll just come in to just teach me how to pitch. Just write it for me and give it to me. And we can do that, and we do that, but that isn't fun. There's some things you have to go through. If I can make you cry, If I can, and not in the gym, or in nutrition or running or biking, if I can make you cry in the office about a spreadsheet, there's some strengths missing that have to be built up inside you. And and I don't know if you see this, but I see like Frankenstein personalities, right? They've, I don't want to name names, but they've gone to big coaches, they've gone to seminars, they've watched Instagram, they bought this course, and they bolted together all these different ideologies. And they're just like a Frankenstein person. They've got, they haven't done they haven't been through the crucible, they haven't built the work up sequentially. They don't know the small things to do. They just plugged in sort of motivation, skills, ideology, and tactics, strategies, and they're saying the right thing, but they're just a Frankenstein person.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's spot on. That's such a good way to look at it. Is like people hear like I look at your Instagram and I'm like, oh, that's a really cool tagline that Oren used, and then I throw it out on mine, and then I pull something from Gary Vee, and then I pull something from the fitness guy, and I'm just kind of repeating all of this stuff that I hear because it sounds really good, and right, and we go back to the 60-second Instagram world, and like nobody really cares if I actually know what it is, and that's the problem, right? Is I can repeat everything all day long, and because we live in a world where nobody's calling anybody out and nobody's calling people on their bullshit, it just goes by, and I think that's a big problem, and I think all industries and all sides of the world is like we take somebody that's spent their entire life on a project and working to be great at something, and we've put the time in and we've put the money in and we've learned and we've failed over and over and over again, and through all of that we've actually built ourselves into something that is not the bolt-on Frankenstein model, like I am who I am because of everything that I've learned and experienced through my life, through fighting, through hardships as a kid, like through this, through that, and like all of that is who I am today. And so when I throw something out, and maybe I throw something out that sounds good and it becomes a tagline, well that's a real piece of me. It's not some bullshit that I heard from somebody that I have no idea what it means or where it came from.
Yeah. And one thing I hope to accomplish here, in putting Level X together, is they don't know how high the bar is for being the best. They'll say, I want to pitch, or I want to be good, or I want to be the best at it, but they don't know really where the bar is. I give an example. If you watch a show, did you see Pros versus Joes?
Yes, I remember it.
Yeah. It's like you don't really recognize how big and skilled professional athletes are because they're all next to each other, right? And you see them, but when you see them, Pros versus Joes, was they took somewhat retired athletes. I'm trying to think they had who did they have on there? Like LT for football players. Like guys who are maybe 3 or 4 years out of the league, and then they had really good weekend warriors, like guys who were on local football teams, winning championships, but they were just weekend Joes. And they put them next to each other in these athletic competitions. And it really gave you perspective of like how incredible professional athletes are compared to like an in shape, hardworking, a weekend guy playing sports. And so I feel like it's the same. People don't have that perspective of what the best really is capable of, what the best has gone through, and what the best looks like. Like until I've seen what somebody's gone through, I can't believe in their skills.
Yeah, so I think that's like the Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods thing, right? Like there's a whole bunch of people out there that are full of talent, right? I was born great. I was born with good genetics. Cool. Like the difference between Allen Iverson and Michael Jordan, the work ethic, all of the shit that went on behind the scenes, right? Like Allen Iverson, everybody said he was probably a better natural athlete
Yeah.
than Michael Jordan ever was.
Yeah.
But mentally, he didn't have it. He didn't have the work ethic. He never put it in, so he never developed that reputation that Jordan did. Everybody knows Allen Iverson as he was really good, but he had all sorts of issues and could never really pull it together. So I think kind of going back to your point about like you don't really see, or you don't have an understanding of like how good some people really are. So like to like the pros versus Joes things, like we've always like joked around like how cool would it be at the Olympics? Like you line up the 100-meter sprinters, and instead of 8 lanes, you add another lane, and you throw like a high-level high school athlete or college athlete in there with them. Just to see that difference, like just to see like what it means to be elite versus really good. So and then you take the elite and really good, right? Because the people that are really good are putting in the work. They're just not there yet. They haven't put the time in quite yet. And then you put in the fakes, the bullshit, and then like imagine where those people are in that line. And I think that's really what the issue is, right? Like that's why you and I are frustrated with what's going on. Is like coaching in general has become something that's been lost. Like a true coach is somebody that's going to get in there, and we talked about it yesterday. Like a coach is somebody that's going to get in there, not a mentor, but that's going to be like, oh, you don't want to do this? Cool, well, you need to, and I'm going to make you do it, and we'll talk about why later, but right now you just need to get it done.
Yeah, like a coach is not somebody who agrees with what your plan is for yourself, right, and tweaks it. Otherwise, you don't need a coach. A coach is someone who knows really where your points of failure are going to be and get you hovering, near that line.
Yeah, like I talk about it, and you've probably heard me say it. Like I'm going to give you what you need, not what you want.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you're in here having me coach you, and I'm just giving you what you want all the time, like that's not what you're paying for. That's not what you're coming to me for. You're coming to me as the expert to make you do all the shit that you're not going to do by yourself, and to help teach you how to do all of that and kind of build you up those ladders. And I'm sure you see it in kind of the same world. Like there's probably people out there that are like, oh well, you want to come into me for the pitch, and okay, cool. Like here, I'll just hand it to you, instead of you're gonna go like, okay, well that's cool. Here's the pitch, but like let's really figure out like why you're failing at what you're doing already.
Well, here's the reality, and a tremendous frustration for me is people come in for the day. I will give them the framework for the pitch, the story that they need to tell that will make their business easy to understand, differentiated from the competition, commoditize the competition, intriguing, exciting, make somebody want what they have, make it scarce, increase their value, lower the value of the customer so they want to come up, all the right things, compress it into a short period of time. Basically, the as perfect a story about the business and the product as you can get. And I'll give them the framework, but I don't know their business specifically. Lawn mowing, accounting software, gym management, whatever, insurance, government consulting, healthcare. I don't know the specific. I go, just take this framework, fill it out with your own details and story. And time after time, it'll be a week and 2 weeks, and I have to ask for it. And they won't do the work that they have to do. And so that's why I want to do this level X, is to show people really like where the greatness can come from. And it's not, if you won't do the minimum, how can you even talk about, wanting to be at a level that is, there's the level of competition today, because anybody can get smart with the internet on YouTube, build a nuclear bomb, learn how to build a house, learn how to build a car. You can get the skills, and so hopefully this project, as we add people to show like just really how much work there is between I want and I am.
Yeah. So like, I think that's kind of like my own personal mission, right? Is to show people through health, fitness, nutrition, like using those as kind of the catalyst to show people like how great they can really be, right? It all starts like at that very bottom level. Like you have to have the foundation. We talk about nutrition as our foundation. People come to me and they're like, I want to be fit. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to do this. I want to be able to do pull-ups. I want to run a marathon. And I'm like, okay, cool. Just bring me a food log for 3 days. 3 days goes by, I get no food log. Right?
It's amazing.
Same
right.
thing, right? So
right. Same thing.
Everybody wants, but nobody wants to do anything. That's what it takes to be great. It doesn't matter how much talent you have. It doesn't matter how many fucking followers on Instagram you have. It doesn't matter how many people are in your corner telling you how fucking great you are, because if you're not really doing the work to be great, you're never going to be great.
For me, I wish I'd had something like this to look at, to say, because I'm not in athletics, right? So I can't look at Michael Jordan, I can't look at Allen Iverson, I can't look at Lou Ferrigno, I can't look at anybody and then map it to my field, right? And I just knew intuitively, like, there's more. And every once in a while I would see, I would see people, I just like, there's more. I didn't know where to push, so I just had to push. And I think that's why it can take you up, took me so long to get here, is because I just pushed in every dimension. And that's very time consuming. Yeah,
and for me, so like I'm on the other side, like I came from the athletics world, came from being a professional athlete, and now kind of finding my way into the business world and spending time with people like yourself, like the things that came from the athletics world like transfer so well into the business world, right? Like you want to do well in sports, like you put the work in, you surround yourself with great people, you get better, you raise your level up. Cool. Like if I want to figure out how to make a bunch of money, do well in business, like I should probably hang out with people like you. And then that, like, so this is the message, right? Like taking my side of things and your side of things and putting it together and showing people like it doesn't matter like what you're trying to do, like whether you're trying to be the greatest lawnmower in the world or the greatest car washer or the greatest finance guy or doctor or athlete, like the lessons are the same. Like what it takes to really be great is no different. It just might look different in a picture, I guess.
Yeah, and something that you said that triggered me is it's the small things. And I just realized that that's what my guys won't do, is the small things. It's beneath them. The CEO of a $100 million company. They have $60 million in the bank. Kid walks into my office, I don't want to give names or anything, but over the last 5 years, he made $60 million. He's a kid, right? But he sat at a computer terminal, doing it. It's not fully formed, has done, so he knows how to do a very, very small range of things to a very narrow range of things to make money, but everything else is in chaos. Because it's so specific. And so when people want to come in and say, I want to be a great presenter, speaker, influencer, persuader, I want to tell people in the world about what I have, my idea, my company, and we have to get them doing the small things that really matter. It's not just giving the pitch. The pitch has to sit on something, and that something is you. And you have to be built out of these micro strengths that create this powering core that you can pull from. I guess that's what, they don't have this powering core to pull from, so they can just give the pitch, or they can just do, athletics, a movement. But if anything interferes with that, an objection, a stumble, the slides don't show up, they forget the words, or the time gets shorter, anything interferes with that, it all falls apart, dominoes. There isn't this inner core of small strengths that stack up to create incredibleness. And that's what I want to give people, is those small strengths so they are fully capable of delivering. So one thing I wanted to ask you about is like in my field, as I said, hanging out with a bunch of writers, producers, people who produce stories and narratives and business guys is fun and it's warm and it's comfortable, right? But it doesn't do a lot for me. We are all so protective of our own skill sets. Yeah, I'll pick a little piece of what this screenwriter is doing or a little piece of what this producer is doing and add it, but my system is very stable. So I'm not really seeking out people in my own industry anymore. I feel like I've got that level nailed down. I'm seeking out really people who are the best in other industries, right? To see, to compare notes and be together on the small things, right? Of course, my art form will improve a little bit, but it's incredibly stable and useful. I'm not right. There's not like another level. There's another level X. There's not really another level which I'm trying to take pitch to. But I think if we bring experts together from different fields, you can show people that this expertise comes from the core. It comes from somewhere. It's not a skill. It comes from these strengths, and probably all the experts have very similar internal strengths. So in your own mission, I don't see you hanging out with other coaches and other CrossFit and bodybuilders and Olympic lifters, right? I also see you looking for other experts in other fields.
Yeah, completely. And I think it kind of is that progression, right? Like as a young coach and a young trainer, like everything that I looked at was this coach and that coach, and it started in like the very specific fitness world, and then I'd kind of reach out to like the specific sports, the Olympic lifting, the gymnastics coaches, the football coaches, the baseball coaches, like what were they doing? And then it's got to a point now where I've been doing it for so long, and I have a really good foundation. I have a really good idea of what I'm going to do as far as overall fitness every day. But to your point is like the biggest progressions that I've made in the last couple of years have been from spending time with people outside of the fitness space, reading books that are more geared around psychology and different mindset stuff, nothing to do with actual physical like workout fitness stuff. It's all coaching, right? A psychologist in a sense is basically coaching somebody how to be better in their mind, but those are the people that I'm looking to now to see like, okay, well, I know how to make somebody fit physically, but like when they won't come in and bring me the food log, like why won't they bring me the food log? And that's the next piece is like, how do I get another step up in the other areas, not the physical coaching piece?
The things in your life that are outside of the physical piece, where do you feel like somebody could hold you more accountable?
I think in like one of the things that I know I've been really working on, especially since I retired from fighting structured my life completely. Like I woke up every day and I knew exactly what I was going to do to the hour, what I was going to eat, when I was going to go to sleep. Everything was all figured out. And then all of a sudden, fighting's done. So I'm like, okay, like what do I do? And I'm disciplined, like I'm gonna eat well, I'm gonna get my workouts in. But my life's kind of up in the air every day. Like I wake up and I'm like, oh, are there waves? Like, oh, I guess I could go surf. Oh, there's no waves. Like, well, what am I gonna do now? And I've kind of lost some of that structure and some of that discipline. So that's one of the areas that I know that for me right now, I could be way better in, and by being better there, it will help me in all areas.
To me, this is sort of the heart of this program, is when you have these people who are the best in their field, right? They are only responsible for their own accountability, right? They don't allow other people very easily to hold them accountable because you created your life, your skill set, your outcome on your judgment. Like the decisions that made you the best in the world in your field came from inside you. You managed all of that, right? And so you learned accountability comes internally. Yes, like you'll allow a nutrition coach to set your program, but you decided that coach, that program, you approved it. You never said, hey coach, tell me what to do, right? And I will do it. The coach would tell you what to do, and then you approved it, and then you did it. I find people, because I asked you, where do you need accountability? And basically what you said, if I had to summarize it, is I don't need accountability. I decide for myself. And it's the same thing for me. So that's what I think one of the big things here is to show people where accountability, can come into your life and where you're defensive against it. I just find like once you reach a really high level of performance, you're so self-reliant that you feel like you're the only person who can hold yourself accountable.
Yeah. I mean, I think spot on. I think for you, right? Like I'm not going to come into your life and give you any advice on anything business related in any way. But what I will do for you is you're going to come in here and there's going to be moments where I help improve your self-confidence and I help show you what you're capable of physically, which then transfers into that other stuff. And I think that's right. Like that's what this group is like surrounding yourself with those people that make you better in certain areas that in a sense like push out that greatness in the other areas of your life where you're already great.
Yeah, I think for me, if what I'm hearing is like, I want to have people who I trust to be able to hold me, I trust their judgment on accountability, right? They, so I have this random goal of I want to be able to do 21 135 pound unbroken thrusters, right? It's just a random goal. I don't know if I can get there, if I should get there, but and I don't know who I would trust to set that program out and hold me accountable to it. And I want to find those people who I trust to hold me accountable. Like anybody can say, okay, what are you signed up for, right? And you say, well, I'm going to come to, I'm going to come to class 5 times a week. I go, okay, write that down and measure you, but do they know what they're doing? Can you trust them? Do you have to keep checking in that program is real, right? Or can you just say, I trust this person to get me there? When you are at such a high level, it's very hard to trust people, right? Unless you believe they've come up through the same hardships, the same pain, the same processes, and have the same inner strengths, you don't want to trust them with your outcomes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of to tie all this together and kind of wrap it up is for anybody that's been at a high level in anything, right? Like you're not, just because you're going to go do something where you're a beginner, like you still don't want a beginner coach. You want the highest level coach.
Yeah, that's right.
To pull you up to that level because we know what the difference is between up here and down here, and I think that's really the important piece.
Yeah. The big question is what happens if level X works and we can add 1, 2, 3, but what if there's 8 people from different fields who are in the best of the world? What impact? Like, what could we put those superpowers on to really make a change as a combined force? And that's what I want to find out.